Well, hello YouTube, it's me, Fortmaster, and welcome to something new. Today, we're going to be looking at an Undertale analog horror series. Now, from what I've understood, this series is basically called Under Mt.Ebbot, and as I said before, it's an analog horror series, and it's been a while since I've watched an analog horror series. The last, actual analog horror series, not counting stuff like Angel here and stuff like that, is I forget what it was called. It was the one focused around Batman or something like that. Really weird. But again, honestly, no idea what this is going to be about. I only just discovered this, even though from what I understand, the first video on this has been around for about a year. So it's been around for a while. But finally going to get around to this because honestly, I want to see where they go with this, because what do you do with, Undertale analog horror? Honestly, again, don't know. And, well, anyway, I want to see where this goes, so let's get into it. So, of course, I found a playlist made by somebody other than the creator, Dr. Flying Fish, and I'll link to that playlist in the video description. Of course, as always, corner video link to my Let's Play of the day. And if you like this video or any other video that I make, I'd very much appreciate it if you gave the video a like and subscribe to my channel, because I know how this works. The vast majority of people that watch my stuff are not subscribed, and I'd very much appreciate it if you did, because my big goal for this year is to hit 5,000 subscribers. And, if you subscribe, you have a greater chance of seeing my content when I upload it, and so, it's a win-win then. But here we are, first video, Mt.Ebbot Disappearings, Undertale Analog Horror. Wouldn't that be disappearances, not disappearings? That doesn't sound right. For the past few years, 7 people have been reported missing on Mt.Ebbot. 7th person went missing 15th of September, and oh, you couldn't have gone 2016 or something like that? Oh, okay. Just block out the entire year. Police have been trying to find any clues of missing people around the mountain, but seems like nothing useful has been found. The last and possibly worst theory, where the people missing might be, they fell in the hole at the top of the mountain. The depth of the hole is estimated to be 1,000 feet. That means that the chance of surviving is not guaranteed. I like how they've scoured the entire mountain, and the only place these people could have gone was in a hole at the very top of the mountain. Was there no chance of them just being eaten or killed by wildlife? Was that they had to have gone in the mountain? But even if some of them survived, it's unlikely they will survive for long without food or water. But then there is one more thing about the whole story, specifically about Mt.Ebbot. Long ago, 2 races ruled the earth, humans and monsters, yep. One day, war broke out between the 2 races. After a long battle, the humans were victorious. Yeah, heard all this before? They sealed the monsters underground with a magic spell. If monsters are still there after such long time, it could be possible they won't be so friendly towards fallen humans. Or even maybe these monsters changed over time living underground to more primal behavior. Okay, so in this one, okay. So the monster's devolved, so to speak. Okay, interesting, interesting. Let's see how this goes, eh? Next video, investigation. Following tape is for use by the members of only. Any information given in these tapes is strictly confidential. Copying, sharing with unauthorized users, recording, or strictly prohibited. Yeah, I've seen this all before. After a few weeks since the disappearances, the seventh person on the territory of Mt.Ebbot, the police department, sent an investigation group and caving experts to go inside Mt.Ebbot to find at least any clues of the missing people. Okay, I'm just going to say this one, and I noticed it in the first video, but I have a feeling the person, Dr. Flying Fish, I have a feeling English isn't their first language, because there's some really weird grammatical errors in this that just makes it kind of hard to read. Caving experts that joined the investigation were Scott, Blank, and Jeffrey. They were equipped with very important caving gear. Very important. Scott was given the camera and microphone to communicate with Officer Connor. The rest of the members waiting on top of Mt.Ebbot and watched everything Scott got on camera through the computer that connected the devices. The following audio is the conversation between Connor and Scott during the investigation.
Okay, Scott, Jeffrey, can you hear me? I just have some kind of the office of this glitchy, but I was still able to hear what you're saying.
God, okay, glitchy, yeah, that's one way of describing it. What, are you speaking inside of a pot? What is this?
Okay, great. That's Jeffrey again. Yes, he's right next to me. Good. So, could you explain where you are and your surroundings? We are at the bottom of the hole. It is much deeper than it looks like. About the surroundings, there are a lot of clothes around us and some sort of a corridor. To be honest, there are sorts of doubt that missing people could survive the fall. I understand, but this is possibly the only place they could go. The whole mountain was searched except for us beneath it. This is the only place where they could be. Alright. Anyway, me and Jeffrey are gonna go down the corridor. What is it? There is a gate. Not just, a hole or something, but an actual gate. Like a man-made. There are pillars and some strange seal on top of it. The architecture looks ancient. I honestly never heard about people living inside the mountain. Maybe... Officer Connor? Yes? Do you know the whole history about monsters inside Mt.Ebbot? Could be possible that they're down there, but let's give them a gateway to the mountain. Roger that.
Okay, again, honestly, I can totally see why they did this. Probably because they're like Dr. Flying Fish probably just made this by themselves, so they didn't want to make it completely obvious that they're voicing both people. But honestly, at this point, I think I'd have an easier time understanding the pyro from TF2.
There's a large hole with a small light peeking through a hole above us. There's another gate, the same I mentioned earlier, but more ruined. Please proceed with caution. Understood.
Wait, was that a picture? Does your camera not have a flash? What was that?
Some sort of building. There are walls, windows, and entrances. It really looks like someone's living in a building everything here. I have no idea how they built it. How did I
I can barely make any of this out. I mean, like, okay, I can see, like, oh, maybe pillars here, but, like, honestly, it's like, honestly, if I was his boss, I would be so angry. These pictures suck.
Just how big is this place? If listen people are saying either, there definitely been some kind of trails, or clues or whatever, but nothing. All I can think of right now is how they built this whole place. I don't see this as some sort of I don't know, bunker or even a whole damn city underground. And the worst part of this is that I haven't heard of the Ebott before. We should go back, because it seems like this task is for a much larger group than just 2 people.
Yeah, probably. I mean, granted, you know, smart with sending 2 people down there, but I mean, you're sending people into unknown territory. I mean, and granted, you know, all the caving and cavers memes out there, but you never send, like, obviously, I mean, you try to send as many people as possible just for, you know, the redundancy and safety in numbers and stuff like that.
This seems different. If this place is that big, then it will be very difficult to find anything like just chaos, and I need to worry. If something happens, we will lose the dead end or something. We will be making from it. Understood.
Mm-hmm. Okay, look at that. That picture's a bit better.
We found a house. Like, there's a whole tree in the middle of the corner, and behind the tree there's a house. There's windows and an entrance. Maybe these people are there. God, I had a bad feeling about this. Come on, get Jackie and go back to the place we found you last time. We'll get you out of the boat there as soon as you arrive. Scott? What is that thing? Scott, what is going on? Scott, answer me, what's going on? Just attack us.
Run away, you idiot! First rule, always make a trail. Again, this is part of the reason more people, so you can so you can bring down more supplies and make a trail or something. Ah, okay. Following images are the last photos that Scott took before connection with him was lost. Yeah. More pillars, lots of pillars. Huh. Well, okay, there's the caretaker of the ruins, old Toriel. So the next video is the history of monster kind. Oh, widescreen. Okay, here we go. Rune film.
Welcome to the history of monster kind. In this informative film, we will tell you the chronological history of our kind trapped in the underground, from the times we ruled the earth to the present day. Prepare yourself for quite the ride into our history.
Ruled the earth?
Long, long time ago, monsters ruled the overworld with another race called humans. For centuries, the two races ruled the earth in peace and harmony. Unfortunately, it didn't last forever. A long and brutal war sparked between the two races, but humans were victorious. The rest rest of the monsters that weren't killed in the plains of war were sent down under the Mt.Ebbot. Humans with a magic spell sailed the only way out of the underground with a magical barrier that haven't been removed to this day. Reasons for it being the magic that is too complicated and strong to be removed by the magic of monsters. And the monsters slowly adapted to the new habitat and built a new civilization that the world had never seen before.
1280, 300 years, okay.
The capital city was soon built near the barrier, so that monsters could live and look at the sealed exit with hope of getting out one day. A century later, monsters went deeper into the underground. Surprisingly, the underground was much bigger than our ancestors thought, making them go more deeper and inhabiting more areas. The new and the second capital city was soon built in the deeper part of the underground.
Okay, so we got home, capital, Snowdin, second capital, which, okay, that's kind of messing up the timeline there a little bit. East Waterfall, what does that say? I can't read what that says, so that's Hotland. Can't read what these three are, though. But honestly, okay, so I'm trying to think, so they've made the ruins a second capital, even though they were the first capital city in the regular games that were then moved. Okay, interesting.
So that monsters could not also live but explore more parts of the underground without having to walk long distances from the old capital. Despite being trapped in the underground, with the help of the magic, the new nation quickly became habitable for all inhabitants. With magic, many inhabitable places were terraformed to the great places to live. The Waterfall for the sea lovers, Hotland for hot folks, and Snowdin for those that preferred cold weather. Our civilization
300 years.
And more advanced. In the early 1500s, the building of the most important structure in the underground has begun. This structure heats the entire underground, filters the air, and also works as a storage facility and also as a magic generator. This structure got the name Core. Thanks to the core, it is possible to live in every part of the underground without...
Jeez, okay, I'm just trying to figure out the timeline here. So the monsters were trapped in the underground, created the core in the 1500s, which gives them electricity that many years ahead of time. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Actually, I mean, thinking about it, it's never really said when the core was created in the game. Like, it said Gaster created the core, and it creates all the electricity. Isn't it? That is kind of the thing. When was the core created? Because, like, obviously, I doubt if you really want to think, the canon Undertale universe, it was made as early as the 1500s. That's an interesting idea.
Worrying about anything. The core spreads such things as food and electricity through the entire underground.
Wait,
making
food?
the life of our kind easier. Electricity, worrying about anything. The core spreads such things as food and electricity through the entire underground, making the life of our kind easier. Without the creation of the core, monsters wouldn't have evolved that much and that fast in such things like magic and technology. And maybe even without it, we would have been evolved into much more different creatures than what we are today.
Foreshadowing is foreshadowing. I gotta check, are these, okay, these are just auto-generated. I was wondering if they're actual, like, subtitles, because the audio effect on the voice is making it really hard to understand in some places.
Considering that we as species, we evolve much faster than, for example, humans. Our evolution obviously also depends on the place where we live and the conditions of the place. In our current time, the underground is a prosperous, beautiful, and a great place not only to live, but to wait for the day when our kind will finally be freed from the underground and finally see the sun above our heads again. That day will come, and monsters will prevail once again. Thank you for your attention, and have a great time. May the Lord save us and help us rise again.
Yeah, okay. Anything else? No, that's it. Okay, so we have the inciting incident of this analog horror. So the core, something happened with the core, which in this universe is the source of all electricity and food. So I'm actually thinking about it. That was one thing I kind of pointed out when I was replaying like Undertale and stuff like that. But like when you, the core is like the main fulcrum for like monster civilization in the underground, and yet seemingly nobody knows like how it actually works. Like I remember when you're going through it, there were sections of hallway that looked slightly dilapidated, and I kind of talked about like, oh, this is like what would happen if the core failed. Like it just broke down because like it seemingly the monsters were just good enough with were just okay with just like having it just like with just maintaining it. But like seemingly after Gaster disappeared, nobody was capable of like expanding it or seemingly repairing it because okay, I can definitely see what they're doing here. Next video, the decay of the civilization. Again, that unnecessary the. But hey, again, I can barely speak English myself. I'm not going to harp on somebody who who didn't learn it at the first thing. The Coronation Day.
On the 14th of May, 1945,
1945.
the kind got its new ruler. On this day, His Majesty Prince Asgore Dreamer and his wife, Her Majesty Princess Toriel Dreamer, were coronated in the Hockland Cathedral, located in the central square of the capital. From this day, the kingdom is under the control and protection of His Royal Highness, King Asgore I. May the Lord save the king.
You know, I think I know the exact program they're using for the flag here. I think I used it to help make one of my thumbnails when I was playing Kaiserreich. Long live King Asgore I. And that's really young for Asgore, because like, thinking about it, I've never really looked into it, but like I always assumed the kind of consensus was that Asgore was, given that boss monsters don't age if they don't have children. I always assumed that the consensus was that Asgore has been king of the monsters since they were put underground, since the silhouette of the Monster King looks very similar to him. But saying that, the idea that Asgore's only been king since 1945, I mean, for no particular reason really, but that kind of strikes me as odd and kind of is weird. We don't have enough water and time to put out the fire. We could have gotten the water from waterfall since the region has enough water to put out the fire 2 times larger than the one we're dealing with. Heck, the whole underground should be helping us put out the fire, but no, the king doesn't let us get water from the waterfall since it will waste the water supply of the neighboring region, and that this fire isn't as much of a threat as we Hotlanders describe it. Does he even see what is happening here? The whole Hotland turned into one massive bonfire. Everything's on fire. Even the waterfall and cities near Old Capital are on fire. But the bastard is hiding in his palace and doesn't see that what is going on. He probably doesn't even know that soon the whole disaster will affect every living soul in here very soon. Okay, so assuming that's because the core exploded or something like that, you'd think that, again, given that the core is responsible for electricity and food, that you'd want to, fix it. I mean, I know there's the whole, stereotype of, the idiot king, not taking the peasantry seriously. But you'd think that, without food, everything would kind of get bad. There's a reason why, doing things to placate the masses is usually called bread in circuses, because, the bread part is kind of important. One week after the explosion.
Tori, are you okay?
No, I'm not. For the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to come up with any ideas on how to fix the situation, yet no good ideas come up in my head.
Well, Tori, you shouldn't stress out that much. You need to rest. You've been looking awfully exhausted lately.
I can't rest. Asgore, do you even realize what is happening? The core is gone. It exploded, and 2/3 of the territory of Hotland is in ruins from the shockwave or fire. And that's not it. The whole underground is suffering from the migration crisis. The civilians from Hotland are running to the waterfall or the capital. There are dozens of monsters stuck in the border of the capital because there are just too much of them coming. There have been also high numbers of clashes between the civilians and the guards. Oh, and how could I forget? Since the core is gone, magic is now dangerously limited. Without the core, we can't generate food or magic. We can't have electricity or filtration of the air.
But we don't need core to make food.
Asgore, do you really not understand the whole situation? Are you really that ignorant and naive? What about the electricity? Without it, you can't make anything nowadays. There have been reports of monsters suffering from famine in the most distant parts of the underground because not only they don't have any connections with the core, but also they are suffering from the loss of electricity. They are starving. The monsters are starving. And I am trying to come up with any idea on how to fix all of this, which is weird. Since you are the ruler of the underground, you should be the one thinking about how to fix that.
I ordered to organize the refugee camps, also the evacuation centers in Hotland so that there will be less injured civilians.
Okay, this is just weaponized incompetence here. Yeah, okay, so that's part of the thing. Obviously, before, in this universe, before the core was created, they had ways of growing food manually. But I would imagine, like the Industrial Revolution, the core made producing food much cheaper and easier while producing much more quantities, which having more food, which results in a population boom. So even if you did go back to, farming normally, the population of the underground at this point probably outstrips the capabilities of even growing food. Yeah, I'm just gonna say here, this Asgore's an idiot.
Did you think about the core? Did you think about how to bring the electricity back? Did you think about how to save your people from starvation?
I did, but I...
What do you mean, what? You didn't think of that? Look at me! I've been eating as little as possible so that Kara and Azrael could eat more. And you didn't think of how to make something so that everyone could eat as much as they want.
Oh, Kara and Azrael. Oh, so Kara has come down to the underground. Okay. Oh no, I don't... Okay. I have a feeling it's not going to be suicide that kills Chara.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying.
You're not giving a shit about your own people!
That's not true!
Nothing serious, dear. Go back to sleep now. I will evacuate everyone from Hotland, and then order the royal scientists to find any solution to fix the core. I wish I could believe you, Asgore.
2 weeks after explosion. Oh, okay. NBC News.
Welcome back to the daily news of the
Mettaton? Jeez, okay, again, timeline of this is just so weird. I always pictured Mettaton being, at least Mettaton getting the body as being really recent. So, I mean, God, this is being weird. Okay.
It's been 2 weeks since the explosion of the core. Since that horrifying event, the casualties have grown from 100 to 10,000 across the underground. Around 85% of the buildings in all of the underground, including the 2 capital cities, have been suffering from the electricity loss. Since it is heavily limited and is only used in some of the busiest and most important parts of the 2 capitals. A week ago has been reported that the flu and cholera pandemic has broken out in the regions that were the most affected.
I'm sorry, a what pandemic?
Parts of the 2 capitals. A week ago has been reported that the flu and cholera pandemic has broken out and...
A flu pandemic? Okay. So wait, did that say the bodies of monsters, wait, monsters turn into dust. There wouldn't be a body left.
The regions that were the most affected by the crisis. Lack of food, electricity, magic, and other important supplies have caused the most severe humanitarian crisis that our kind has never seen before. The royal scientists have been working hard on trying to restore the core, but it can take years for the core to finally be fully restored. Considering what is happening right now in the underground, it seems like a lot of monsters won't live long for that moment. And we wonder, what we will do now? How are we gonna live? This is the question that everyone is asking. But the most realistic and, unfortunately, the worst case scenario is that we will go back to the Stone Age. Or even maybe, at that time, there won't be anyone left.
Jeez, talk about improving morale there, Mettaton. You're not doing a good job. 4 weeks after the explosion. Mention the following material is suitable only for members of the royal family. Seeing the upcoming material without the personal permission of the royal family is strictly prohibited.
After a long time of suffering, when we thought it couldn't get worse, another tragedy happened in the royal family. Kara Dreamer, human that was adopted by the royal family, got terribly sick by flu. A week later, Kara Dreamer passed away from the virus that was too strong for Chare's already weakened organism.
Okay, so Char didn't kill themselves by poisoning with buttercups. They died of the flu? Okay, jeez.
The king and queen are mourning the loss. The child of man was buried underneath the golden flowers with the view to the sky, in royal family's private garden. These flowers were deeply loved by Kara. Now she can finally rest in peace right underneath her favorite flowers. Fly high, Kara Dreamer.
After explosion. Hi, Toriel. How are you? It's getting worse. The underground is suffering from famine. I lost my child. I'm starving. Okay, so there are obviously some very big differences between normal Undertale and this version of monsters because like if Chara just died of the flu, but nobody got their soul, so nobody was able to escape from the. Okay.
Tori, I'm home. I was talking with Dr. Alphys and it seems like we could fix the core earlier than we thought. We could finish it before we will lose more of our civilians. Tori? Hello? Is anyone home? Oh, Tori, here you are. Did you hear what I told you?
Okay. So, who was she eating? Because, I mean, Chara would have been buried for... Did she dig them up and eat them? Is the last song Cyrus played before going completely silent. The song is about the hope of the monsters and that one day they will leave the underground.
We've been stuck for far too long in the underground one day.
Queen ate her own child. Despite the dislike towards the royal family amongst the civilians, it still shocked a lot of people. King Asgore ordered the guards to deport Queen Toriel and lock her into the new capital, the city that was slowly turning into abandoned ruins. The king himself fell into severe depression. He isolated himself from everyone and everything by locking himself in his own throne hall. Nobody saw him in person again. The royal family is gone. The kingdom of monsters is gone. saddening end to such a powerful race. Okay. Okay. So, I'm assuming that that means that Toriel ate Azrael. Okay, so things went from 0 to 100 real quick, and then they've gone from 100 to 1,000,000 real quick. Okay, so this one is the Great Disaster. Okay. Monster Kind Broadcast Corporation. News of the day. His Majesty's inspirational speech.
On the 13th of March 1962, in the central square of the old capital, His Majesty King Icemilkgooner I gave a simulated speech full of hopes and dreams. In his speech, King Icemilkgooner reminded his people that the current century marks the 1000th anniversary of the monster kind getting trapped in the underground. He also gave a hopeful message that from now on, monsters will be actively seeking any possible way to break the barrier that keeps the monsters trapped in the underground, more active than during the previous rulers. Thanks to our technological achievements, we now have many ways in our pockets to try and free ourselves from the trap that we have been stuck in for a whole millennium. The people are inspired by the speech and have high hopes for the future of this nation. May the Lord bless and save the King and his people.
Okay, so what's going to go bad? Project Spear of Justice, 1970.
Project Spear of Justice was developed by the royal scientists by King Asgore's order. But before explaining what the project is about, we need to know how the core works. Inside the core there are 4 containers and 1 massive reactor in the middle. Each container stands for storing and delivering different important resources that the royal scientists add into them and control their amount. These resources include magic, electricity, warm water and food that can be delivered quickly from one region to another in minutes. These containers in controlled amounts send their resources into the reactor that separates and transports them into various pipes that are inside the walls and roofs of the mountain across every part of the underground. If there is a balance between the containers, like the lack of water for example, the structure needs to be closed before the containers transport them into the main reactor, because if the reactor gets imbalanced amount of the resources, it can cause a variety of issues, from mixing resources with each other to when the ways to the reactor are closed, the structure must be put on a low power mode, which slows the process of the core. It might be annoying to the civilians that their food is delayed, but it is for their own good. After the structure is in low power mode, the scientists use the magic from the magic container to generate the missing amount of food to make the balanced amount of the resources. The magic itself is getting connected by monsters that they get to fill the container through special machines made by the scientists. Mostly the scientists themselves give their magic to fill the containers. After there is a balance between the resources, The core is getting turned back on the normal working mode. Now, about the Project Spear of Justice. The main objective of the project is to send a massive amount of magic from the core's reactor straight into the barrier through the special pipes. Theoretically, the big amount of magic might overpower the magic that the barrier is made of, which could lead to its destruction and eventually the freedom of the monster kind.
Okay. So the core exploded because massive science went bad and variables were not kept. Okay.
The possibility of this project to be successful is unlikely, though His Majesty is determined in its succession.
So, when's it gonna blow up, eh? Oh god, wingdings. Oh god, no, not wingdings. Please tell me somebody has translated. Oh, okay, never mind. And translated. They didn't realize that they made a death sentence for themselves when they started this project. If the process of sending magic from the core straight into the barrier would have went perfectly, it would have still ended in disaster because the core, and specifically the pipes, weren't built for the kind of pressure that they wanted to put on the core. Okay. I'm not gonna. I haven't looked at the second one. I'll have to read what that one is later. 73. Is that the real Starwalker?
Okay, this thing works. So, greetings. This is Dr. Fergus speaking. This tape is for educational purposes. We are pretty much making a historical event.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of static.
Where we might have found a solution to finally break the barrier and free ourselves from the underground. First, I need to log the passages of the containers in the main reactor. Yes. Oh, but before I'm gonna do that, I think I really need to tell you where I was into that. Even if this project, Spear of Justice, isn't gonna work, it would still be nice to record it as one of the many experiments of ours trying to get out of this mountain. Maybe even this tape will be shown in schools as one of the many attempts of our kind trying to break free.
Okay, of course.
If this is going to be successful, this tape will be one of the most important pieces of evidence of our kind and our greatest achievements. We will make history. I will make history. Anyway, what I need to do... right. Turn the system to full power mode, and there we go.
Fergus, are you ready?
Yes, just 1 second.
April 26th.
Okay, so now we have to transport magic from the magic container to pipe W. That connects to pipe E, which will then be delivered straight to the royal castle. And there, the king and his soldiers will use the pipe as a cannon of sorts to shoot straight into the barrier and destroy it.
All right.
Did you block the passages?
Yes, everything's fine.
Okay, good. So send the magic from the magic container to pipe.
Okay, so they're using pipes and stuff like this, and so I'm just imagining here that they basically have a green Mario pipe aimed straight at the barrier that's basically going to fire at it
Pipe W, which will then send to pipe E, and then pipe SE, basically straight to the corridor where the barrier is located. The king and the engineers already pulled the pipe from the underground and it's facing the barrier.
I can barely hold my excitement. Even if this isn't gonna work, it would still be a nice try.
Yeah. But I hope this will at least weaken the barrier. I mean, we live in a very technologically advanced age, so now we have much more possibilities and opportunities than, for example, 100 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Right.
This was in the
Everything
70s.
should be on its place now. Now all we need to do is to send the magic into previously set pipes.
Alright, so I'll suppress here. Locate this one right here. Okay. Everything's at this place. You ready?
I surely am.
Here we go.
So, when will we reach the destination?
In about 5 to 10 minutes.
All right. Hey, Sparkle, you want me to bring you something to drink as a celebration of possibly succeeding in our project? Sparkle, is everything okay?
Did you block the passages of the containers to the main reactor?
Yes, I did. What's wrong?
Look at the screen. Why does it show that 3 containers released their contents into the main reactor?
Wait,
Uh-oh.
hold on.
Fergus, that was the first thing that we needed to do. Did you forget to do that?
No, I was sure I blocked them.
Do you know what could have happened?
Damn it, Fergus! This is all your fault. We can officially say Under Mt.Ebbot is all Fergus's fault. It's entirely his.
Attention. This is not a test. There has been an imbalance between the resources inside the core. Please turn the emergency system to shut down the core. Keep it shut down before the imbalance will be resolved. If the situation will not be fixed in the next 5 minutes, it will cause a meltdown inside the reactor. Turn the emergency system to shut down the core immediately.
Fergus, go and push the emergency button.
Goodness. It doesn't work.
What? God damn it. This is Dr. Sparkle speaking. There is a resource imbalance in the core, and the emergency system doesn't work. I need all available scientists and engineers to go into the core and help us to fix this before it's too late. There's only me and Dr. Fergus. We need more people here.
The pressure level in the reactor is also filled with resources.
Oh my god, I mean, you'd think at that point, with something like that, you'd think, the main design flaw I'm seeing with the core here is that it has no purge system. You have a major imbalance, and you have no way of just, doing an emergency purge that just dumps whatever's in the reactor out. Everything needs a safety valve.
The pressure levels have reached its maximum point. I need all available scientists and engineers to the core now.
That doesn't sound good.
What's that noise?
Wait, what? Oh, okay, so, just went monochrome and stuff like that. Okay, great. First explosion! Taking about 5 kilometers away from ground zero. Ugh.
The magic's supposed to arrive at this moment.
Maybe there's a problem in the pipes, or maybe the royal scientists delayed the deployment.
It could be possible, but why? Everything should be working well.
Your Majesty! Your Majesty!
Dr. Alphys,
Oh!
what's wrong?
Oh, geez, Dr. Alphys, you look a lot different than I remember you. Have you lost weight? And your arms?
You don't look so good.
The core, it exploded. It's on fire.
Excuse me?
The people of Hotland don't have enough water in their region to put out the fire. They require water from neighboring waterfall region. Your Majesty, please allow them to get water from there. Your Majesty.
Oh, it's nothing, really. About the water. Why do they need the water so much that they require more water from another region?
Because she literally said the core exploded? like, dude, right now is not the time to be overwhelmed. You're literally the king.
I'm sure they'll be fine and the fire will be put out easily.
But, Your Majesty.
I answered your requests. You're dismissed.
Your Majesty, was she serious about the core exploding? Your Majesty?
I'm sorry. I need some space.
Call between the underground firefighting department and the Hotland Fire Department. Okay.
Underground Fire Department, what's your emergency?
There was an explosion at the core which caused the fire. Hotland firefighters are trying to put it down, but it doesn't go out very well. Our water supplies are running out.
Okay, let me contact you to the local Hotland firefighter station.
Everyone from every single station here in Hotland is already here, but it's still not enough to put the fire down. We need more water from neighboring regions to put the fire down.
I understand. I contacted the Waterfall Firefighters Department. The Waterfall Firefighters are on their way.
It has been
Can you
over.
explain what exactly happened?
Everything was quiet until the core started shaking violently. We thought that it was just doing its job as usual, just a bit more active, and then suddenly alarms broke out, and then it just blows up. Just where the hell's the water from Waterfall?
It's on its way. It's gonna arrive soon.
It has been over 30 minutes and it's still not here. Just send us water from anywhere. I don't give a shit. We need the water right now. The fire is too strong.
Another explosion. Okay, that's what second explosion. Okay. Got it. Okay, so now the question stands, like, was there nobody that was being insubordinate? Like, nobody saw, oh hey, so the king's being an idiot, I'm gonna start sending water there anyway. The ground shaking.
What was that noise? Maybe it's the magic that finally...
Your Majesty! Your Majesty!
What's wrong?
The core!
I'm sorry, but haven't I told you and Dr. Alphys that I do not allow sent water from the waterfall? The fire is surely not as dangerous as people say.
Your Majesty! The core exploded again! Much stronger than before! There have already been reports of hundreds of deaths and thousands of injured people around Hotland. The shockwave from the explosion damaged some of the pipelines in other regions. Your Majesty, this is a severe disaster that is going to affect hundreds of thousands of people, including the royal family. What are your orders? Your Majesty?
Oh, contact me with the royal scientists immediately.
Yes, in a minute.
What was he saying there? Okay, so I'm obviously getting that he's being just completely overwhelmed here. Seemingly, this version of Asgore cannot handle stress that well. But like at this point, like this is just unconscionable. Like your main source of magic, water, food, and electricity has just literally exploded, and he's doing nothing about it. Oh god, more wingdings. Okay, so let's see what the other translation is. So 1530, yeah. You know what's the most funny thing about this whole situation? When monsters were just sealed under the mountain, they obviously had no core. Not only that, but when they were sealed underground, they eventually faced the process of evolution where their bodies and behaviors changed. But it didn't bring any negative effects. It made them more agile, and they could survive without food or water for much longer than before. The same thing would have happened with them again when the core exploded, but the main problem was that monsters became too spoiled with all the technologies and privileges they had that their ancestors could not even dream about. The newer generations became more carefree, too sensitive, too dependent on their creations. Monsters back in the day didn't have electricity and were living just fine. Meanwhile, for the new generations, if there was, for example, a temporary power outage or internet outage, if they would have had internet back then, the whole underground would have drowned in hysteria, only worsening the situation. Monsters doomed themselves by trying to live more comfortable and easy lives. Okay. Okay, this is going on for a while, okay. People 5 weeks after the explosion.
Dr. Alphys?
Oh, Your Majesty. Welcome back. I just finished the statistics of civilian casualties. 1.5 weeks after you organized the evacuation of Hotlanders to the refugee camps in the outskirts of Hotland, the casualties decreased by 40%. I know it's not as good as 80%, for example, but still good, right?
Absolutely. That's wonderful to hear.
There's more good news from me. The blueprints of the core were intact. That means we can use them to rebuild the core instead of trying to build it from memories and photos.
That's fantastic. Didn't expect to hear 2 good news in a row, especially during such a difficult time for all of us.
Right. Anyway, I made some cup noodles for us. Would you like some?
Sure. Thank you.
So, Your Majesty, how is your family?
Not doing that good, I would imagine.
They've been, well, not bad, but could have been better. Toriel is acting weird, but Azrael has been doing just fine. He stays at home more often than usual for obvious reasons, but other than that, he's been fine.
What do you mean by Toriel acting weird?
Well, since the explosion, she has been acting strange. By, for example, not eating much. I mean, I know and understand the current situation, but we still have enough food and water for our family. But she either gives most of the food supplies to Azrael, even too much than needed, or she simply refuses to eat. She's saying stuff like, I can't look at the food and eat it while there are starving people out there. I told her that despite the difficulties, the food and water supplies are getting sent to those who are in need.
Okay, so I'm just trying to think. So, obviously here, it's just too many things happening at once, where, like, Toriel's stressing out because she's trying to do her best, Asgore seemingly not doing enough, and obviously that's putting a lot of strain on Toriel, which is why she snaps later on and eats her kid after one of them dies. Ugh.
But she just simply refuses to listen. She says that she won't eat a crumb until I will give enough food to every living soul in the underground. Meanwhile, she doesn't do anything. She just belittles me and complains about me not doing the things she thinks are right. She really wants to act as some sort of a hero by pretty much starving herself and, like I said, at the same time, not doing anything useful. I just hope that everything will get better soon.
I'm sure everything will be fine. Maybe Her Majesty is just very stressed out and might...
I mean, obviously that she's stressed out.
Possibly. She has been really emotional for as long as I remember, so maybe it will eventually fade away.
I'm sure of that.
Thank you, Doctor. Genuinely. I really appreciate your kind words.
Do you want to take some of the noodles so that your family can have some too?
Sure. Oh, I don't know about Toriel, since she will most likely refuse so that she can pretend to be a poor, starving civilian. But Asriel and Asriel might enjoy them a lot.
Great. I'll give some for your family.
Thank you. I will always appreciate your help.
Don't mind it. I should thank you for always coming here and helping me and other people to organize nationwide aid.
I'm just giving orders and listen to your advices. Nothing else.
I'm still thankful to you for simply coming here and at least trying to fix the situation.
The situation he caused.
You're always welcome, Doctor.
Yep. And this is the point. Yep. Okay. What is that noise? A lot of work for so long today. Hi! Yeah, okay, so this is the event. You know, I was going to say, like, I mean, obviously in this sense, if this was the normal, you know, Undertale timeline, and, you know, the wider world found out what was happening here, and that the underground was literally filled with bloodthirsty monsters, honestly, I mean, I still, like, granted, I mean, what's happening under there would still be horrifying. At the same time, at this point, I can't help but think a genocide route might be doing the good thing, just putting them out of their misery. Because, you know, send down, like, a division, not even, like, a division of soldiers, but just, like, a group of soldiers, you know, with actual killing intent. Because, as we've seen, you know, having a level of violence, you know, would certainly make it easier. But at the same time, here, these don't seem like normal monsters. Like, they seem to bleed. They seem to be made of meat instead of magic. So I doubt the same rules of, like, how strong a human that wants to hurt them versus a monster. Like, I don't think that same dichotomy exists here. Ugh. Yep. 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 TR Fox. Okay. Oh god, I just hear the oh god, the screams.
Your Majesty! Your Majesty!
Doctor.
Your Majesty, I'm so sorry for what happened. What should we do? What can I do for you?
There's no need for you to do anything. You have already done so much.
Your Majesty, where are you going?
I'm going away. As far as I can. I don't want to look around. I don't want to look at what have I done. It's all my fault. If it wasn't for me, none of this would have happened.
Wait!
Thank you so much, Dr. Alvis, for everything.
Your Majesty, you can't leave me here!
1.5 months after the explosion.
Entry number 17. It's been 2.5 weeks since the incident at the Royal Palace. King Asgore, former king, has locked himself in the throne room and refuses to get out of there. The Queen was sent to life in prison of the new capital, far away in the most western part of the underground. After the king left us, everything went downhill. I heard that the new capital is in chaos because of the heavy restrictions of literally everything. Electricity, water, food, everything is very limited. The reason for it is that the city is located far away from the old capital and other major cities, making the aid transportation to the new capital much more difficult. And what's worse is...
Okay, honestly, nice touch. I love the fact that the picture is color graded so all the buildings are purple.
that the new capital doesn't have enough facilities or factories to produce vital supplies. Like, for example, electricity. The city has always been dependent on foreign aid and supplies. The people there are protesting and committing violent riots, making the city the most dangerous place in the underground. Snowden, meanwhile, is suffering the same thing as the new capital. The lack of food and electricity led to massive famine and unrest in the region. Waterfall isn't having a great time either, but at least they don't have water problems. 50% of the territory in Hotland became uninhabitable because of the explosions and wildfires that happened about a month ago. The whole underground is in turmoil. We have no leader to follow, no plans, no ideas what to do. I mean, they have some ideas, but it's unlikely that they might work.
I mean, you yourself said you found the blueprints for the core. I mean, rally support. Say we have the blueprints. We can rebuild it. I mean, of course, thinking about Alfie, she'd never be one to do that.
I don't know what to do. I don't know anymore. I just want everything to end.
Two months after the explosion. The Waterfall region, specifically in the administrative capital of the region, Blauberg, a meeting between the former Waterfall Royal Guard was held. Since the king, who was in command of all the armies in every region, resigned, there is no one in command of the army. As a result, the most powerful, influential general in the Waterfall military, General Undyne, was elected as leader of the army. Okay. General Undyne was furious at the resignation of the king, believing Asgard betrayed his own people. Under her command, the Monsterkind Revolutionary Army, or MRA, was formed. Okay, great, we have communism. The spear on the shield. The Emperor was to organize a coup against the remaining monarchist government located in the old capital, and then establish a new state where monsters would never go hungry again. At least that's what the military promised to the people. Waterfall, under the control of the military, declared independence from the kingdom, establishing the Monsterkind democratic state. It was the beginning of the underground civil war. Where I quickly advanced through Hotland, massacring the armies that were still loyal to the king. More destruction, eh? When we reached the old capital, brutal street battles across the city, which led to even more casualties and destruction than the city had ever seen before. After hours of fighting, the MRA broke through the security of the royal castle and raided it. General Undyne ran straight towards the throne room where Asgore was. Face me, you traitor. Yeah, Undyne may be tough, but she's not a boss monster. I mean, that's even canonical to the game, where she couldn't even land a hit on Asgore. After a while, Undyne was thrown out of the throne room with heavy injuries. Samurai was forced to retreat. The Civil War ended, with both sides achieving nothing but more destruction and casualties. Is that Mettaton?
It's dark like in a void. How unfortunate that it all came to this. No one is really interested in my shows because only a small percentage of people have access to still somehow working TV nowadays. Anyway, there is no time for me to be sad and all that. I gotta check Dr. Alphys. I haven't seen her at all today.
Why do I get the feeling that this is going to end badly?
At least once every day. You know you can't be there forever. There's still plenty of canned food left, and I know that you can't live without eating at least one can per day. Hello, Alphys. Come on, darling. It's time to come out.
Is that just the fate of this series? If you don't die, you either you die or live long enough to become a monster. Evolution of monster throughout the years. Oh, hi, Timmy. What's going to happen to you? Okay, so this isn't really evolution as it is a more metamorphosis. But still, not good. Okay, been working out, Timmy? Been packing on the pounds? Been pumping iron? I thought muscles weren't your thing. Okay, I'm actually more surprised that, they went back to being a quadruped from being bipedal. Like that's some weird some weird Pokemon logic there going on. Is there going to be a stage 5? Okay, so we went from quadruped, bipedal, quadruped, bipedal again. Okay, again, this is a very odd life cycle we're going on here. Isn't that it? Under Mt.Ebbot. Okay. Wait, is this supposed to be the end? What was... Coming in each episode. Your help and support. This series probably never finished. Okay, so this isn't the end. Because I know there's more videos in the playlist. Oh wait, this is the end! Jesus, okay. So that's the official end to Under Mt.Ebbot, but there's still 4 more videos in the playlist. They're all pretty short, so I'm going to continue this. Though, looking at my current recording time, yeah, I've been recording for a while. This is going to be fun to edit down. So the next one we have here is Extra Hymn of Hope. Hymn of Hope. Hymn of Hope is a composition that was written somewhere in the 1700s. In the 1800s, it was adopted as a national anthem, before being adopted as one of the most important and famous patriotic songs. Is this going to be what was before, just in better quality? Because I could not understand a single word of that song that was played before. The song itself tells about the unbreakable hope of the monster kind of... The song itself tells of the unbreakable hope of the monster kind of getting out one day from the trap in the underground. That the monsters will prevail and that humanity will fall when monsters will eventually come back up onto the human world. Following audio is the last recording of the Hymn of Hope that the megaphones from all across the underground played. After that, the megaphones and the radio stations went completely silent.
We've been stuck for far, far too long
monsters will prevail. We pray for the day of light shine upon us and guide us to the exit. Humans will fall, monsters will prevail and finally get there. One must reign on earth. May the Lord save our kind. May the Lord keep the light of hope shining for us, and help us go through this difficult journey to the surface so that we can see the sun again.
Geez, that's uplifting and... Well, okay then. Even to this day, you can hear the king's cries. Godzilla? Okay, I mean, nothing else to really say about that one. Okay, so this next part is extra his speech.
You know what's the most funny thing about this whole situation? When the monsters were just sealed under the mountain, they obviously had no more. Not only that, but when they were sealed underground, they eventually faced a process of...
Oh, okay, so this is the speeches from earlier. Okay. Just actually voice acted instead of me reading them. Okay, let's see what else is added here.
When their bodies and behavior changed, but it didn't bring them any negative effects. Actually, it was quite the opposite. It made them more agile, and they could survive without food or water for much longer than before. The same thing would have happened with them again when the core exploded. But the main problem was that the monsters became too spoiled with all the technologies and privileges they had that their ancestors could not even dream about. The newer generation became too carefree, too sensitive, too dependent on their own creations. Monsters back in the days didn't have electricity and were living just fine. Meanwhile, for the new generation, if there was, for example, a temporary power outage or an internet outage, if they would even have internet back then, the whole underground would have drowned in hysteria, only worsening the situation.
Hi. How are you?
Monsters doomed themselves by trying to live more comfortable than their lives.
Back in my day, we didn't have any of this newfangled electricity, even though the core, which was my creation, caused all of this in the first place. No. Not with that kind of attitude. Okay, next one. This is a very short video. It's not even a minute long. But this is just bravery.mp4. Okay, so this is the underground. I'm trying to remember which room this is, because I obviously see the flowers. So what's What's gonna happen? Who's gonna eat this person? Oh, hi! Okay, so that was Sheeran. I think that's how I think I'm remembering the name properly. Okay, next video here we have patience.mp4 slash amalgamate .mp4. Oh, wonderful. As if we didn't have. God. 1987 location Central Hotline status inactive. I thought this was Hotland. Target location. Never mind. I think I misread that. Actually thinking about it, how did the trees grow underground? Because, you know, they look like normal trees. Still going to Central Hotland. I don't like how calm this is. I liked it better when there wasn't actual live action footage being played. Eastern Hotland status active. Status? Do they mean like there's active things in the locations? Or is they talking about something else? Seattle Snowden border. I don't like this. I do not like this. Inactive. No music. Oh, great. Yeah, okay. Okay, what did that say? Whenever it was very big. When patients got wrapped, when patients got wrapped in creatures' palms, its mouths and teeth already began eating, before the mouth swallowed. Patients? Are they talking about the soul? Okay. Oh god, I think I understand what's happening now. The monsters in their like rabid states are slowly collecting the souls. So they might be able to escape. Oh god, okay, at that point just need to drop a nuke, just the entire mountain's haunted, just burn it. Oh god, yes, very good, great. Great. Okay, well that was definitely something. I have... how much? I have almost 2 hours of footage I need to edit through. Great, that's going to be so fun. Oh god, but yeah. That's definitely going to be it for now. Again, I mean, if you have any other suggestions for stuff for me to watch, you know, leave them in the comment section below, but honestly... I mean, granted, like, for a lot of that, I was getting kind of hung up on, like, the differences in canon versus, you know, this. But, I mean, honestly, the idea that, you know, the monsters, through, like, lack of, due to lack of resources, their lives began, and, like, the monsters' ability to, like, metamorphosis to better fit their environments, and that being kind of biting them in the rear when times got really tough. Oh god, I'm gonna be honest, this sucked to watch. I hated watching it because I love the character so much. But honestly, for such a small channel, really well made. Oh, I'm such a small channel. I mean, I'm smaller than them, but you know. But honestly, really well done. Don't know if I'm gonna watch more of it because again, I don't like horror. But, you know, for YouTube, I'll do anything. But yeah, that's definitely going to be it for now. So, yeah, of course, as always, original video is linked in the description if you haven't seen it for some reason. Corner video, link to my Let's Play of the day. And yeah, with all that out of the way, I hope you guys liked. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.